You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode number 320 of the OMG Hour, and this week we will be your opinionated monstrous governors. And of course, I am your host, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place, and we are inside of 3 weeks to PAX East.
We are. Oh my goodness, PAX East is coming up fast. That's right. So I guess we got 2 shows before PAX East.
I don't know.
Let me pop up the calendar really quick. I think that might be true.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, 2
weeks, and then the week after there won't be a show because we'll be at PAX. But there will be. We'll have mini shows while we're at PAX, like we do every year.
YouTube content available.
Absolutely, yeah, because we like to do our daily shows there.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about games a little bit later. Let's jump right into actually, before we jump into television. Today, right. I was fortunate enough to pick up the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus upgrade from the S8, and it was interesting. I was thinking to myself, I like to get new devices. I'm always excited when new devices come out, and I was thinking about picking up the S10 like a couple months from now when I fully paid off my S8, because with my provider, I'm not on a contract, but I can pay essentially a monthly fee for the phone over the course of 24 months, and it's subsidized. So I pay X number of dollars, and they actually pay X number of dollars, so it comes out cheaper than buying the phone outright.
Oh, that's a good deal.
But it's not a contract. I can pay it out anytime I want, which is nice. Yeah. But my daughter, Esri, who's going to school up in Halliburton for ceramics in September, her LG phone that she's had for 2 years now is cracked and damaged, and it's not working well, and the battery lasts like 3 hours. And I said to her, well, why don't I get the S10? I'll give you my S8, because then she doesn't have to, because she was thinking, when can I buy a new phone? She was
looking at her upgrade option.
Looking at her upgrade, and I'm thinking, well, do you really want to be paying for a phone while you're in school? So long story short, I got the S10. I'm giving her my S8, which is still in like mint condition because it's me, and that's just how I treat my devices. Yeah. And so I was thinking afterwards. There's 2 things I want to say about it. Is I wasn't as excited this time to get the new device as I was like upgrading to the Galaxy the first time. And I think that's just because my Galaxy S8 was such a good device that I was never annoyed with it. I wasn't unhappy with it in any way. You know what I mean? So to me, it was like, I don't need to upgrade. I'm quite happy with what I've got. Whereas before I was like, I got to get rid of this device. I need a new one. It's so slow. It's not working, whatever. Like even my iPhone 6, by the time it was 3 years old, by the time I got a new one, it was so slow and clunky, and I was happy to upgrade. But with my S8, it's so good, even to this day, 2 years later, that I was like, I'm not as excited because it's a new device, because my other device it's still great,
Yeah.
The other thing too that really annoyed me though, I spent the entire afternoon at work setting up the S10 Plus, getting all my apps on it, through my backup of my old device.
Yeah.
Hooked up the 2 devices wirelessly. They speak to each other, and I can send everything from one device to the other. I did all that while the SIM card was still in my old device, so that I still had a working device. And then I'm like, okay, everything's done. All the emails set up. Great. I pull out the SIM card from the old one, throw it back into the S10, and what does it do? It factory resets the device. What just happened?
And there was no
option. I put the SIM card in, and it instantly factory reset the device. Why? I just spent the whole afternoon setting up the new phone.
That is
my gosh.
Unfortunate is the word that I'm going to use for that.
So I am now doing the whole luckily Samsung has a device called Device Switch or something like that, and
Device Manager or something like that.
Yeah, and it's just like it wirelessly connects to each other and sends everything and sets up the new device exactly like the old one, and
the same spots, everything.
Everything,
Yeah.
all the devices, like every setup I've got, like even folders and where I put the folders, everything is just boom, there it is. But
Yeah.
it was just I couldn't believe I put the SIM card in and it factory resets the phone without even
Wiped
asking. It just
all
wipes
of
it.
your work.
Oh, but anyway, let's move on. Television.
All right.
Television. Actually, I tried to watch a couple of movies this week on television and or on streaming. The first is Mary Queen of Scots. This is a movie with Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated with the story of Mary and Queen Elizabeth back in the 1500s, Mary Queen of Scots. So I thought, hey, this would be great, a great period piece. My wife and I watching this movie, we're like 45 minutes in. I turned to her like, I have no freaking idea what's going on. Like, none.
Yeah,
and she's like, she says, no,
movies,
I'm lost. She says, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
like,
some of these movies are too dry and they just don't hold your attention in order to, like...
But none of it even made sense. Like, I didn't feel like they were saying anything or doing anything that actually made sense. Like, I had no clue what was going on. We just stopped the movie, and we ended up watching a movie that I don't think got good ratings. It certainly wasn't a popular movie by any means. It was called Peppermint, and it's with one of my favorite actresses, Jennifer Garner.
Yes,
Dorothy calls
super spy movie.
Yeah, well, not really a spy. No, more like a revenge movie. It's a revenge flick. Her husband and daughter are killed, and she basically trains herself and becomes like a Rambo in the city.
Yeah, it's a female Punisher.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's female Punisher. And Dorothy always calls Jennifer Garner my girlfriend because ever since Alias, like she's just, I love Jennifer Garner. But what a great movie. Like, seriously, just popcorn flick, just a fun action, like you said, a female Punisher. It was really good.
John Wick.
Like, and it was just so well done.
In that vein. It's just, violent
and it didn't seem stupid. It didn't seem like, it actually didn't even feel far-fetched. I mean, sure, it's action-oriented, but I thought it was quite well done. I really enjoyed it from start to finish, and it had a satisfying conclusion. It's like, I'm just rooting for her. Just literally watching her kick ass all throughout the movie was, and some of those scenes are just like, this is awesome. Like, I haven't seen that kind of fun, like almost a little bit over the top, like sliding underneath, grabbing the guy guns, turning around and shooting him all in one shot type thing. It's like, you don't see that stuff anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, you do. That is exactly John Wick.
That's true. That's true.
John Wick has almost created that new
genre. Yeah.
I mean, not new, but it sort of brought that back. The
over the top, slow motion, really cool moves type thing. Like just like
the gun kata stuff. The Max Payne.
Exactly. But Peppermint, and it's not a widely released film. I don't know.
It suffered from poor marketing. It absolutely suffered from poor marketing. It was not released at the best of times. I think this was. I
don't even remember it.
I think it was like a November release.
Really?
In the theaters, and it was like right around Christmas. I don't think it did horribly well in the theaters. It was not marketed great.
But definitely worth a watch for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a theater. I wouldn't call it a theater flick. I mean, be glad to stream it, but it is. By far, like, of those two movies, Peppermint was so good, and Mary Queen of Scots was dry, boring. Like, literally, as I mentioned, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what they were saying, what they were doing, why they were doing what they were doing. It made no sense to me whatsoever. But that's that was my week of a couple movies, and I'm almost caught up on The Walking Dead season 9.
Catch up already, would you? So we can talk about the stuff, and I don't have to worry about spoiling anything for you, because this is the problem. Because I'm caught up, and I would like to have somebody to chat with about this show, because I enjoy it a lot. But I'm concerned because I sort of everything blends together. So when I start talking about something, I'm like, did that happen 4 episodes ago or 2 episodes ago? And I don't want to spoil anything for you.
I hear you. I got 3 episodes left. I've actually been watching it instead of everything else, so I'm behind on all my other shows because I'm getting caught up on The Walking Dead. One thing I want to say real quick, and I don't think that this isn't... it's talking about a thing that happened this season, but I don't think it's going to be a spoiler per se, because everybody knows that Rick Grimes left the show, or Andrew Lincoln left the show. But the very episode that he left, which, by the way, was an incredible episode. Like, his final episode was, like, the perfect send-off. Yeah. Really was. But then the show jumps forward 6 years, which kind of brings it in line with today. It brings it, because if you look at the events of the last 8 years, it really only happened over the course of, say, 2 years. Right? Yeah. It wasn't a 6-year story arc. It was like a 2-year story arc. They finally kind of jump forward. So now Rick Grimes' daughter is about 8 or 9 years old. But what I find very strange about the way people revere Rick Grimes still and think of him and, you know, the results of what he's done, if you think about what's happened, it's been 6 years since he left, you know, and I won't say how it happened. And yet they really only knew him for 2 years or less.
Yeah.
You know, but more time has passed since he left than they even knew him, and yet he's still this big sort of figure. Well,
now here's the thing, because you're thinking of this in our terms, where you're going to meet so many people over that course of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in this world, like, not that many huge events happen. Right, like you're not talking, like, you're talking over 6 years time, but like, everybody's sort of a small knit community. So when somebody, you know,
but they don't still talk about Dale. They still don't talk about Beth. They don't talk about all the other characters that have left over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, from an audience point of view, I get it, because we as an audience have known him for the last 8 years. But it feels weird that the characters still kind of go on about him, even though more time has passed without him than he was ever with them.
Yeah, but he was integral in creating that community. So he was almost you know, martyred. In their eyes, and that's why, because that was at the creation of that civilization, at the culmination of the end of Negan's, you know, tyranny and all of that stuff. He's almost martyred because of that. So him leaving at that point, that's what in their minds would be. He would be the great and all powerful Rick who has left us.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I guess, but it just seems it seems strange in a way. Is all I mean.
And it's not like there's like new people popping in every week to say, hey, we're brand new people every week. It's, you know, like in 6 years, this new group of people it's
the first one. Yeah.
It's the first other group that they've run into in that amount of time. And there's some good stuff coming if you're 3 episodes away.
Oh, goodness. I got to tell you, season 9, like, oh my gosh, this season is incredible. Like, really. Yeah, it's intense, and it's probably one of the best seasons so far. Like, there's been some great seasons, but there's also been some duds. And honestly, like, season 9 feels like it's a revitalization of the franchise. I'm so excited
for a good season. The good seasons have the best villains, and they've got some good villains coming up.
Yes, yeah, the Whisperers.
Whispers, yeah.
I'm excited. It's turning out to be a fantastic season, like, seriously. So, anyway, that's my stuff. How about yourself? What did you watch this week?
I've watched, I mean, the regular, usual stuff. You know, nothing stands out. But I did go last night to see Captain Marvel.
Right. How was that? With no spoilers.
So no spoilers. I really enjoyed it. It was filmed in such a way as sort of like one of the things I had read about it too ahead of time was they filmed it like a Phase 1 film.
Which makes sense because it takes place in the 90s.
It takes place in the 90s, and you find that out right away, and you found that out in the trailers and stuff like that because of the Blockbuster video. And
so it's actually happening, I believe, is it 17 years before Iron Man?
Yes. I don't know the exact time frame.
10 to 17 years, let's say, right?
But it is, like a very young SHIELD.
Yes.
You know, like right at the inception of SHIELD. You know, Samuel L. Jackson is in there as Nick Fury, but and it's really cool because like it is not really noticeable that they have used their de-aging stuff on him. It is cool to see, and it's him almost as not a rookie, but
before he's been so jaded with everything that's going on.
Yeah, and has any real power too. He's an agent.
He's just an agent now. Yeah,
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's cool.
It is really well done. It tells a great story. The characters in it are fun. Brie Larson's fantastic as Captain Marvel.
Awesome.
It is a fun movie. I go to see all of these with my brother-in-law, all the superhero movies. I actually want to go back and take Leah because I think that she will have an absolute blast with it.
I'm excited to see this. I want to take my girls to see it. It's funny because when I asked my girls if they want to see it, Aria's first reaction was, I don't know who Captain Marvel is. I'm like, okay, but you didn't know who Iron Man or Thor or Captain America was before we saw all those films.
Or the Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew who those were before that movie popped out. Now
it just seems like a weird response. Did you want to see Captain? I don't know who Captain Marvel is, but but you didn't know who anyone else was before we watched all their films either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was telling my wife about it, and she's like, "Well, who's playing Captain Marvel?" I said, "Brie Larson." So I thought Captain Marvel was a man.
No, that's Shazam.
Well, because DC does have a Captain Marvel as well, which.
No, DC's Captain Marvel is Shazam.
Yeah, so but they have called him Captain Marvel before as well, and that's what used to in her head. And that's what she was thinking of when that. So like she's sort of outside of that. So
that's the whole story. That's the whole real world story behind Captain Marvel. Is that Shazam was created as Captain Marvel by not DC but by a different company, and I cannot think of the comic's name, but it was a comic. Company that DC bought, and then they brought on the Captain Marvel character, but in order to protect the Marvel name, Marvel copyrighted the Captain Marvel name so that DC couldn't use it, and in order for them to enforce the name, they had to use it in a comic. They
had to have a character, which is...
And so then DC was forced to create Shazam instead. And what's funny is both Captain Marvel and Shazam are releasing within a month of each other in the theaters.
Yeah. Well, this is your whole Armageddon Deep Impact.
Right?
Stuff. This seems to happen a lot. It was a fantastic movie. It was really well done. It was a lot of fun to watch. There's some great bits. I mean, ever since Guardians, all of the Marvel films sort of have that tongue-in-cheek, that level of humor to them that is just a lot of fun to be a part of.
That's awesome. It looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see it.
Really touching tribute at the beginning of the movie to Stan Lee.
Awesome.
So the usual. This is not spoilery because this is like the opening logo of the Marvel thing where it does all the comic book slipping through. It replaced all of those scenes with Stan Lee's scenes from like his cameo scenes from his movies.
Wow, that's amazing. That is awesome. Is Stan Lee's not in this one, or he is?
He is. He is. He had filmed his cameo.
Is this the last cameo he did? I'm not sure.
I think he's filmed his cameo. I think he had filmed his cameo
for Spider-Man.
No, I think he actually filmed for Spider-Man and for Endgame as well.
Okay, so all right.
So I think that he had filmed a couple of these, already. But yeah, he has his cameo in this as well, and it is actually quite funny. His cameo. I won't.
But it takes on a whole new meaning now.
Yeah, when you see him,
just knowing that every time we see him now is one more to the last one. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he did one for Spider-Man or for Endgame or not. But yeah, and it's kind of special now. Just that one little tidbit of Stan Lee,
And it's a fun one in this movie. I don't want to spoil that because I know you're going to see it, and our other people. This is day 2 of the movie, so this may be at the spoiler point. So I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, no, it's too early to ruin things. No, let's not.
A day and a half later is too early.
It's too early. Too early, my friend.
I will tell you this: there are 2 end credit sequences.
2? Okay, good. It's good to. I like to know how many there are going in, so that I stay for them.
The second one is, my opinion, probably not worth the wait.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was. I mean, go through the movie, and if you feel like leaving early, I can easily describe it to you afterwards.
They're all on YouTube anyway. Seriously. Well, question, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but does one of them build to Endgame? One of the end scenes. Is one of them a bit of a hint to Endgame, or?
I mean, there's not really a hint. It involves Endgame. Yes.
Oh, it does. That's cool.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. The first one involves Endgame. It doesn't really give you any spoilery or anything like that stuff for Endgame.
It's never a spoiler. It's just a build up. It's a you know what. It's kind of like a next time on.
Yeah, it is. It does. It has Endgame
material
stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. A couple of news things that came out this week. Right after the Oscars, Steven Spielberg, of all people, is pushing for new Oscar rules that excludes streaming movies like Netflix, for example. So Netflix won for Roma. They won like Best Picture, and they had nominated for a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Yeah. But it was not a theater film. Apparently, it was in the theater very briefly when it launched on Netflix, or 3 weeks before Netflix. It hit a select number of theaters.
Yeah.
But then it's on Netflix, and Netflix has more and more been garnering Oscar nominations for their films.
Yeah.
And Spielberg is pushing for rules that exclude that from happening, because he considers that television not it takes away from the theatrical
I absolutely 100% do not agree with him. These are movies, and they're if they're good enough on their own to get nominated, then I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why he, as a creator, would want to stifle anybody else's creative ability.
Like, he's saying they should be nominated for the Emmys, which is for television, versus the Oscars, which is supposed to be for the movies.
It is a movie. It absolutely 100% is a movie. Where we watch that movie,
right?
What difference?
What does
that
it make? What? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of the movies that are nominated don't get any real, critical praise until like people have seen them after they've been released on DVD or Blu-ray.
Exactly.
So does that mean like if a movie is released on DVD before the Oscars, then that doesn't count either because people could have watched it at home?
Right? I don't. It doesn't.
It just seems to me like this seems like a grumpy old man. Like, I don't want anybody else getting a shot at.
Right. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. That's not the way we used to. Like, yeah, times have changed. Like, yeah, like when you were getting all of your nominations and stuff like that, this wasn't an option.
Yeah, it feels like, I don't know what it feels like. It's just this little boy grabbing his toys and running away. Like, you can't have my stuff. Yeah. I don't want him to play. I don't want Netflix to play in my garden.
And if you're gonna like. I'm sorry to say, but we are going to get, maybe not like right away, but there's going to be a point where these are, and we're already seeing a lot of day and date video on demand and in theater, because people, like, there's a lot of movies. Like I like going to the theater. I like that theater experience at times,
but not for everything.
Not for everything. There's some movies I just want to sit on my couch.
Right.
And I can tell you something. The other thing too is, so we went to this movie. And there's this guy that goes to the same theater on the same nights that we go, because it's the opening night all the time, same theater.
Yeah.
And he was not behind us, and this is how about it. Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was sitting directly behind us. At Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this is a guy. He's like loudly, irritatingly laughing at parts that are not necessarily funny, but they're not points that. And then making comments, and like that guy who yells, "Oh, don't go in there!"
Oh,
like,
no, really?
So, anyway, so we're there, and like as you're watching it sort of takes you out of it, because this guy, like, I mean, he was right behind us, and he's loud at Ant-Man. He was like in the same theater as us, because we could hear him, and I'm like, I lean over, I tap my brother, I'm like, that's that guy again. From over a year ago, seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm like, he's like, my God, you're right. That's that guy again. It's the same. But that's the theater experience at times.
Yeah,
though.
Exactly, right? Or even in the kids kicking your seat behind you, and chittering and chattering, or
ahead, like
yes.
Like some giant hairdo person in front of you who's blocking off a corner of the screen. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy the experience at times.
I do. I love, for big blockbuster stuff, stuff like the Marvel films, Star Wars, the superhero stuff. That's what I want to go to the theater for.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to go to the theater for Mary, Queen of Scots, for Peppermint, for, you know, Roma, for
most of the stuff that's nominated for an Oscar.
I'm not going to the theater to see those.
I'm not going to the theater to see those at all.
Exactly.
Like,
well,
most of the stuff
maybe Black Panther I'll go to see.
Yeah, I mean, the very, very few of them.
Right?
I mean, I didn't know Roma was a Netflix-only movie. I knew it was nominated. I knew it would won some stuff.
Yeah.
I did not know, because I'm not going to go to the theater to see it. I also didn't go to watch it on Netflix either.
I didn't. No.
It's not something that really interested me.
No.
But I don't, this is what it is. Like, the genre and the place where we can watch these things is changing. We have streaming now. Movies are going to drop in both places.
Yes.
They're going to drop day and date. They're going to be very close. I mean, all Netflix has to do is fine. Okay, great. We'll rent out an art house theater and we'll showcase this for like 2 days, and now it counts as a theater release, and you can shut up.
Right.
If they really want to do that.
It's not Netflix is not going to kill the theater going market. Netflix's movies, the fact that they're making movies, and they're making good movies.
What's going to kill the theater going market is $20 popcorn.
Exactly. Well, yes. But they're not going to put theaters out of business.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the thing is, because people who don't want to go to the theater for that experience or don't want to pay that money, they're going to just wait anyways. We're not talking about a 6-month wait before movies come out.
Yeah.
On video on demand or
the other side of this argument is, before the world of Netflix, there were movies created for television. There were television movies, right? They were events. And those movies were never considered for anything, right?
But
except maybe also Emmys. So
that's also because they weren't that good.
Regardless,
the production value wasn't there.
But this could be where Spielberg's coming from, where Netflix you can only watch on television. Yes, it's a movie. It is a feature-length film.
Yeah.
But there were also feature-length films created for television that were never in the theater. Does that mean those should qualify for the Oscars? What should what are the rules that say this qualifies for the Oscars, these qualify for the Emmys? I guess there's kind of a fine line, though, right, between a film and a television thing.
Well, if it's a film, a movie or a TV movie, it is still a movie, and it should be considered as
anything long form storytelling should be considered Oscar worthy.
So here's what it should be. Whoever made the product gets to decide what it is. If I make a movie and my medium happens to be Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, and I say, hey, this is a movie, then it's a movie. If I say, hey, this is a television experience,
what if it's 45 minutes long?
It falls under, I think, the short film category. If I say it's a short film,
yeah, you got a point, because there are short films.
Yeah,
like
and that is a category.
Pixar's short films who have won Academy Awards.
Yeah, that is a category.
Like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, that's a category that they have. I don't see any reason. I mean, if you really want to take away from this, the best thing that they would do is create a separate streaming service category.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, let's not move. We're getting on in time, and we've still got lots of stuff to talk about. Real quick, Arrow, the TV show, the beginning of the Arrowverse, is ending after season 10. Season 8, after 10 episodes of season 8, which is next year, which kind of leads into their announcement that next year is going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths, the crossover.
Yeah.
So honestly, 10 episodes, that's around the time they do the crossover.
Yeah.
And Stephen Amell went online and said, this is what's happening. We're going to end the show. It's something he wanted. He wants to move his career forward, kind of keep going. He's also gotten to the point in his career and family life where he just can't be in Vancouver all the time, which is where they film.
Yeah.
It was a really awesome video that he put on, kind of touching, moving all at the same time, just as a fan of the show. But he wants to end it kind of like before it gets bad. He's a fan of ending things while they're good. But I kind of see this now gives them an opportunity for Oliver to kind of like do a hero's sacrifice in Infinite Earth's storyline.
Yeah.
Right? Which would be the perfect send-off for Arrow, because he's the one who started it all, right? And the Arrowverse isn't going anywhere. They're introducing Batwoman. They're probably going to introduce more as time goes on. But you know, it's sad to know it's ending. But at the same time, I'm not surprised, because this season started out strong, and I'm not quite sure where they're going now with it. It's just like, it just seems to be a bit of a mishmash of stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't really know where they're going, so maybe now is a good time to plan the end.
Well, like, because I think a part of it is the format of the show, because the format of the show started off with, you know, modern day flashback, back and forth, and forth.
Yeah, now it's
modern day flash forward
like 20 years.
Yeah, so it's a lot of that stuff now, which
seems like a weird way to go, because you can't change what we're seeing in the future. All they're doing is like, okay, showing us 20 years from now. All we can try to figure out is, how did they get there?
Yeah, and that's what they're expecting. You're going to keep watching as you see that gap get smaller and smaller.
Not if they're ending next year.
But yeah, I don't know. It's less. I'm not enjoying Arrow as much this year as I have in the past. Flash, I'm still enjoying. I'm having fun.
Flash is good. Legends was great. I mean, I'm looking forward to another season next year with Legends. Legends is always a shorter thing anyway. I would really like to see them bring Black Lightning into the Arrowverse. I don't know why it's separate. Why does it have to be separate? I don't understand that. You know, maybe Infinite Earths is their opportunity to do that. My other theory for Infinite Earths is because the ending of the Infinite Earth storyline in the comics actually merged all the multiverses into one. There was only one Earth by the time it was done. My theory is they're going to end the multiverse thread that's been going on since like season 2 of The Flash and bring Supergirl and Superman into one Earth. So now Supergirl and Superman are on the same Earth as Flash and Arrow and Batgirl.
You can actually maybe then just dial all this into a Justice League.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Show, which I would have no problem with.
And if they're going to do that, what an opportunity to bring Black Lightning into the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Right? Because by the time it's done, there's only one Earth. And that's the whole point of Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? There was only one Earth when it was all done. So this is, I think, and I honestly believe that's what they're going to do. Supergirl will be on their Earth going forward.
And it'd be interesting, too, because as we know, DC has their own streaming service now.
Yeah.
And how much support are they still offering the CW with giving them access to characters and stuff like that?
Who knows?
If they're planning on maybe doing some of their own stuff. I mean, we've seen Titans and Doom Patrol.
They just announced today that King Shark is going to be in Suicide Squad 2. And King Shark has been on The Flash multiple times, so I'm thinking, oh, great. There's another character they're going to yank away from the CW.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, that's enough TV talk. We are way past halfway through. It is time for some 7 degrees of translation. OMG. Are you ready for some 7 degrees?
I am. I actually did mine today. They are themed.
Mine are themed this week, too. I almost said this
And mine are so difficult that I'm going to even tell you...
Oh, my gosh.
...the theme.
Okay. Why don't you start us off, then, this week?
All right. So mine, I'm going to tell you this. They are movie subtitles.
All right. Movie subtitles.
Translation.
So the actual things you used is the subtitle of a series.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Right.
What languages
for
did
example,
you use?
like Temple of Doom.
Right. I get it. Sure.
All right. So I have used Spanish, Arabic, Macedonian, Romanian, Turkish, and Finnish.
And what about English? Did you use that?
Yeah. I used that one that was my 7th one. I went back to that one.
Excellent.
Glenn gave me crap last time because I miscounted and.
All right, so what's your first one? What's your first subtitle?
All right. Porter.
Porter? As in
Porter.
Okay. Porter?
Yes.
Porter. And this is a movie I would know.
I believe you have seen it.
Oh my gosh, it's a believe.
Yes, it's a movie you would know.
Porter. Well, what's the definition of porter? Because that's like, is that a person? But a porter could also be like a wine or something, couldn't it? Or like a...
That's a port. That's just a port.
Oh, a port. Okay, so a porter as in the person.
Listen, this one makes absolutely no sense, and if you get this, then you get like all of the points.
Then I'm not even going to try. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
All right, it is The Two Towers.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it didn't make sense. I'm guessing maybe because, like, in a tower or hotel, you have a porter who carries your bag up for you.
I guess. All right.
And if you have two towers, then you'd have, like, more than one.
Two porters.
Yeah.
All right. So I used Hebrew, Hindi, Hmong, Hungarian, Icelandic, Igbo, and English.
All right. Are you going to tell me the theme? Or do I guess the theme?
Sure. I'll tell you the theme. The theme is Xbox 360 launch titles.
Launch titles. Okay.
All right, the first one.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, First War.
Holy Spirit, First War. Halo Combat Evolved.
No. It is Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
That was a launch title?
Yeah. But it's Holy Spirit out of Ghost Recon?
That's why I went with Halo, because
I know, right? Exactly. No, I get your guess made sense, but no, it was Ghost Recon.
All right.
All right, what's the next subtitle?
All right. Imperial Strike.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, my next one. Earthquake.
Earthquake. 2 words or 1?
It's 1 word.
Trying to remember what the launch titles were for the 360.
This one totally makes sense, and you should get it.
I should.
You should.
I can literally in my brain right now think of 2 of the launch titles, and that is the only 2 that I can think of.
Okay. Earthquake.
All right. So I really can't think of any. I mean, I'm even thinking, should I look over at my pile of games? But I don't have any launch stuff anywhere.
Let me know if you're going to give up, and I'll give you a hint.
All right, I will take a hint.
Think of the actual word I just said. Earthquake.
All right. Oh, Quake 2.
Quake.
Oh, is it Quake?
It's Quake. Well, it was probably Quake. I didn't use the number, but yes.
Yeah, I think it was Quake 2.
It was Quake. I mean, I literally gave you the answer in the results.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not giving you that one though.
No,
should I give you that one or no?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. The last one. Hiding in the Mud.
Hiding in the Mud.
Now, I believe you have seen this movie, but I don't think you're going to get this.
Okay. Hiding in the Mud.
And there is a secondary theme to my theme, and if you figure that out, you might give you more of a hint towards this title.
Two Towers, Empire Strikes Back. They're all second movies in a trilogy.
Yeah.
Hiding in the Mud. Can you give me a hint as to what type of film it is? Is science fiction, fantasy, drama?
It would qualify for so
really?
So it was in the theater. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh! Thanks, thank you.
It is a action movie. It was not very good.
Hiding in the Mud. Is it dirt? Is it shadow? No. I don't know. What is it?
It starred. Well, not starred. It had a rapper in the movie.
Like Ice-T? Oh. Secret of the Ooze?
Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, yeah! Awesome.
Like you try to like run through your head like which movies it had a.
I have no idea why that hint made me think of Secret of the Ooze, but all right, here's your final one.
That's Vanilla Ice. I mean, that's
Vanilla, exactly.
One of the greatest actors of our time.
All right, here's your final one. Ready?
Yeah.
Holy in a row.
Holy in a row?
Holy in a row. This one makes total sense, too. I just thought it was funny because the first one was Holy Spirit. Now I got Holy in a row.
Is it spelt the same way? Holy like...
Holy, as in holy, yes.
Holy in a row.
In a row. You will laugh if you don't get this.
Is it the Halo Combat Evolved?
No. But no, Holy in a row actually makes complete sense.
All right, so Godline, that's not a thing, is it?
It was not. Well, okay, it is. It's a longer than it was started out with.
Yeah, well, it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
No.
I got nothing.
Saints Row.
Saints Row. That's not a launch title.
It was.
There's no way Saints Row was a launch title for the 360.
Saints Row. Holy in a row.
360 launch titles were Cameo, Perfect Dark. Saints Row was not a launch title.
Well, if it wasn't actual launch, it was like the launch window.
I don't think it was.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm gonna Google this. This is false.
I actually did a search. I said 360 launch titles, and these are the ones that came up.
I think it just gave you titles that launched on the 360.
All right, let's move on. We've got games to talk about, and you have a list. Let's put back to my list here. So we both have been playing the third chapter of Legacy of the First Blade for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yes.
Which finishes the story that started back in December, I guess.
Yes.
And what a fantastic ending to, like, seriously, great story. Now, the only thing I want to say here, though, is all the hoopla about the relationship at the end of the last chapter and how they were going to change it.
Well, now, if you'd already played the last chapter, which you had, I don't think it changed anything. I think for new people starting the DLC, it will give different options because you'd already played. I don't think it gives you as many options outside of the regular course because you'd already...
I was going to say, because it continued completely as if they were married, essentially, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I mean, I'm quite happy with that. I liked the story. I thought it was fantastic. But, yeah, I mean, but seriously, the storyline was fantastic. I love how it ended. It gave us a fantastic tie into Origins right at the end, which is awesome. But yeah, what a great story. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the next DLC set, which is Fate of Atlantis. You were looking up launch titles, weren't you? You weren't even paying attention to me.
I'm 100% paying attention to the fact that you were wrong. But yes, I'm paying attention to. I know I want more stuff too, and like there's more achievements available now for some more Tales of the Grease that are coming out, as well as some unnamed achievements for probably some more mythic quests and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the mythic monsters. They need to make them harder though.
Yeah, they are not very difficult. I'm at I think level 60. My character's level 60 now, so like I'm not having a tremendous amount of difficulty. Although there's a few things that I've noticed. The mercenary thing is now there's like...
Yeah, you got the new tiers, S1, S2, S3.
Yeah, and depending on where you are on that tier, you actually get discounts with the blacksmith and stuff like that now too.
With the new blacksmith, the one where you can actually increase your inscriptions to new higher levels.
Yes, actually all blacksmiths.
All blacksmiths, yeah.
Because it shows in the bottom corner the thing there.
Yeah, your discounts, and then there's a new blacksmith that came out back in January that gives you access to higher tier inscriptions.
Hepatitis or something like that.
Hepatitis. But it's super expensive, those upgrade. You really need to be selective with what you want to upgrade because they are abnormally expensive. The other thing I don't like. Brian Juggler Geese, by the way, says I was not wrong. So Saints Row was.
Listen, Brian is not where we go for our information.
Oh, I say.
He is not the official scribe, so therefore we can't take what he has to say. Unless he's saying I'm right, in which point then we can.
Oh, I gotcha.
But until he says that, then,
One thing I want to say about the Assassin's Creed is of course, each DLC, they added new tiers to upgrading your ship, your boat. And the new tiers they added in this third one, in order to purchase all of the upgrades for every unit, and there's one new upgrade on each of your places in the ship, would cost you well over 1 million drachmae. Like, who's got that kind of drachmae out of this game? Like, seriously.
I am really glad I've got that achievement early.
Oh my gosh, right? Imagine starting the game now with the DLC. You wouldn't get that achievement unless you could raise, like, 2 million drachmae.
Yeah.
Which is... I don't even know if that's possible, to be honest with you.
If you start selling some of your non-legendary equipment and stuff like that, because I was down to like 1,000 drachmae, and I just started going through.
You could sell them all, but then you don't have the material either that you need.
No, like it's a catch-22 there. But I did manage to get it from like I was down to like 2,000 up to 120,000 with just clearing out stuff I had lying around.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but imagine having to do that now like 5-6 more times.
That's
it's no. Oh my gosh, but great story. This is the way DLC should be done in an Assassin's Creed game. Like previously I've talked about in Assassin's Creed 3 how the DLC told a completely different story. The DLC in Syndicate did the same thing. Here's different people to play as. Yeah, here's a different story, not having to do anything with your thing. It's an awesome continuation for a character that that you've been playing the entire time, and that you get to, and it continues the story. Yeah, which is great. And what's nice about this DLC is if you start the game with the DLC already there, it just becomes part of your journey.
Yeah,
right. It's fantastic. So anyway, I'm quite happy with the way it concluded. I love the tie-in at the end to Origins. It really kind of links the two stories, which was great. But yeah, that's Assassin's Creed. That is the Legacy of the First Blade, Part 3. You played some really odd games this week. You really had a thing about jam this week. Were you eating peanut butter and jam all week or something?
Actually, it's not peanut butter jam, but it's like sandwich. It's like cheese, and it's like an apricot and chili jam, which is absolutely delicious with cheese.
And so you had to play games about jam.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
What's your first jam game?
All right. So the Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. I don't know if this is it's not a remake, but it's a.
I got to tell you, watching this video that you gave me, I have no freaking clue what this game is.
So let me just explain this. I also have no freaking clue what this game is, and I'm the one who played it.
Okay.
So I remembered in my I for some reason Toe Jam and Earl was I believe a Genesis game back in the day.
I think so. Yeah.
And I for some reason in my head remembered it as a platformer.
Well, this is a platformer, but what the heck are you doing?
This is a weird thing. I'll be honest. This is the worst one. This is the tutorial level.
What?
That does nothing. It tells you nothing as to what you're supposed to do. Like, I know I'm supposed to be going around and collecting spaceship parts and then hopping in an elevator to move to the next random floor. And then going and doing the same thing. I know the thing, but it doesn't really say, like, press this button to do this or talk to these people to do this.
And what are all these other people walking around? Who are they?
I don't know.
What?
I don't get it. I just don't understand this game. If somebody understands this game and knows what the hell it's about, please tell me.
Why did you buy this game?
They sent me a review copy of this.
Oh, this is a review. I got you. Okay.
It's not getting a great review from me at this point. I don't get this game. I really don't understand it. And I will play. Everybody knows I'll play just about anything.
You play anything. You're the button presser.
Yeah.
In fact, everybody knows, if you want to meet us at PAX East, Tico will give you his new business card that says Chief Button Presser on it.
Chief Button Presser.
Tico Constum, Chief Button Presser.
Yes. I played Kitty Powers, and I played Kitty Powers for several hours. Like I grinded through some of that stuff.
Yes, you did.
I just find this I really find this game to be painful. And I feel bad about saying that about, like, you know, anything that anybody's put work into, but it doesn't make sense to me as to what I'm supposed to do. Like, there's random stuff that you can pick up. There's presents that you get. He stops in hulas with the hula girl every once in a while, so I'm not sure if she's an enemy that I'm trying to avoid,
right?
Or if I'm getting points for huluing with her. Like, there's like some guys with a boombox every once in a while, and if you talk to them, you can do like a little like DDR button pressing dance competition with them, and you can get some cash. But I don't know what you use the cash for.
Right.
I just find myself very confused.
Game of the year
by this. I'm gonna wait for the definitive edition.
Excellent.
With all the DLC, which maybe you know, they add the instructions is DLC.
Right.
So. Yeah, I did not enjoy this.
All right,
this title.
So after you played with that jam, did you look for a better jam?
I moved from this to Hyper Jam.
And what is Hyper Jam?
Hyper Jam is it's a multiplayer game, but you can play against bots and stuff like that as well. It is a top-down isometric battle game, and you can play, I believe it's up to 6 players, where it's a free-for-all, and you can pick up weapons, and you're basically just trying to knock each other. It's sort of like an isometric version of Smash Brothers.
Okay.
So as you go through, and if you die, then then the other person gains a point for that round, and so you want to earn enough points to win the overall game, which usually is about 8 or 9 rounds deep. Depending on how many people are playing and how often you die, which I am not the best at not dying. But if you knock the guy off, that was probably me dying there. I think Vance is a computer. If Vance keeps winning, then, not me.
I thought you were Vance. No, wait. I don't know. I don't know who you are watching this game.
Let's pretend whoever wins is who I am.
All right.
So you can pick up weapons, you can get like knives and guns and grenade launchers and stuff like that. And the whole idea is to either knock your opponent's health down to 0 or knock them off of the platform. Very similar to Smash Brothers or something like that. If you die, you get first choice of perks when you go into the next round of the game. So there's different perks. Some of them will be like Titan, so you'll get more strength for physical attacks, or you'll do more damage with guns, or you'll generate, like Cyberheart, you generate health at 2 HP per second, and those will stack as you go through. So the longer a game goes, you can have like 3 or 4 stacks of a certain perk as well, which makes it kind of interesting. And if you are bad, it allows you a bit of a chance to be a bit better at it as well. So it is
worth playing, or
it's a fun game. It is a fun game. It is worth playing. It is one of those games though that, against the AI, you're going to probably die more often because it's like sort of the Twitch reaction speed to it. So you really want to get into a game with other players.
Now, is this a couch co-op split screen? Is it online?
It's not split screen. It is couch co-op. It is both online as well as couch co-op. But you don't need to do a split screen.
Same screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Same screen.
Only 2 players, kind of like a Street Fighter.
It is up to, I believe, 6 players.
Oh, you can
online.
Oh, excellent. Cool.
Yeah. So you can get a real battle royale going.
Yeah.
At a certain point too. And again, whoever dies first will get the first pick of your perks.
Okay.
So it's a fun game.
Cool. That's Hyper Jam. So that one's
Hyper Jam.
That is the one jam that's worth playing.
That is a jam. If I had a third jam game, I would have gone with that. I mean, if you have an option, go with like NBA Jam. As your third option, if you need to fill out the Jam trilogy.
The Jam trilogy.
The Jam trilogy.
So the Hyper Jam, good. Toe Jam, not so good. NBA Jam, preferred?
Well, I'm a big basketball fan.
Excellent. All right, one more game you played this week.
And then Yonder finally dropped on the Xbox.
I played this game a while back, right?
Yes, this was we saw this at PAX actually and really enjoyed it in the small sample size.
Yeah,
2 years ago at PAX, really enjoyed it in the small sample size. We saw that. It then came out on the PS4, which you played through quite a bit of it, I believe.
I did, but then it did get to the point where it's like it was just it didn't hold my interest long enough. And
that's sort of remembering our talks about that. And going through playing this on the 360, it looks the same. It's great. It's a fun little game.
It's a great looking. It's a fun game. It looks great. I mean, for its art style is fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, it does get grindy at a certain point.
Very grindy and just like, well, now what? Where do I go now? What do I do?
And the map is because it has multi layers. You can go into caves and underground areas, and the map will just take you to the area, but it doesn't guide you. Like, hey, take this path, go down here and go here. It's like, no. This is the area you want to be in. You get to the top of this mountain thing. It's like, oh, well, I'm in the spot, but the spot it wants me to be in is in one of the underground caves. Now I have to go find an opening for a cave somewhere.
Yeah. Not only that, but I also found it, once you got to what you needed, it was difficult to remember, now, where do I go? Where am I going now? Like, I found myself getting lost on the map a lot. Like not really knowing which way to go to get to where I need to be.
Yeah, I found that a lot, and differentiating which of the tasks are sort of story based versus which of the tasks are just random tasks.
Yeah.
That they're giving you. Like I'm doing this thing and I'm running around trying to build this thing, but is that something I need to do to advance the story? Like story.
Yeah.
I
mean, the game is actually really well done, and it's really for those people who love the kind of open
Harvest Moon, Crossing.
Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon, and I love Animal Crossing. But similar to this, I guess Animal Crossing is a game I enjoy for a time, and then I'm done with it after a while. It's not something I'm going to go back to all the time.
Yeah.
And Yonder was kind of the same thing. I enjoyed playing the game for a short time, but it wasn't a game that lasted for me.
I can get about 45 minutes to an hour of this, get through maybe a couple of quests, and then I'm like, okay, it does not have the one more quest feel to it.
Yeah.
That you get out of some of these sort of games. Like I just want to grind out a little bit more of whatever I'm doing, and it does it like I get through, and it feels like a little bit of a chore that I've gotten through because it is really doing chores.
Yes. Well, yeah. Exactly.
I've done those chores. Okay, I'm gonna play something else for a little bit now.
Yeah. It is available on the Switch now too, which is, in my opinion, kind of the perfect platform for this.
That is what we said at PAX. This is because we said it. We told them this would be a perfect game on the Switch, and they said, "Well, you know what?
You're right." They
Sean Nexus. You were right, Sean Nexus, and yes, they made it happen.
You were also correct, Tico Button Presser.
Yes.
So excellent. All right. Well, that is it for the games you played and the games I played. Do we have time? We've got a couple of minutes to talk about some stuff.
All right.
I want to actually talk real quick about Xbox Game Pass. Because more and more Game Pass is becoming this kind of like just the thing you need to have on your Xbox.
Like, I don't, at this point, at whatever price, like, if you're paying full price on it, which is like $13 a month after tax, you're getting value. Like, they've just added. Now,
they just added Just Cause 4.
3-month-old game.
Which is not only that, but it's not even an Xbox title. It's a Square Enix. No, is it Square Enix?
It's Square Enix, yeah.
Yeah. So you and not only that, but I believe it was last month they put the new Tomb Raider on.
Yes.
Right?
New Tomb Raider, Fallout 4, which has been on there before.
Yeah.
But they've put that back up there. Some stuff does leave the vault and goes back.
And that's what I'm wondering is the thing that confuses me about Game Pass is they have always been advertising 100 plus games.
Yes.
But by now, shouldn't it be more than 100 games, or are they adding and removing all the time?
They are adding and removing, so they're adding in 5 or 6 games a month, and they're removing 2 or 3 to 5 games a month as well. So it's in that range. I think you're probably, I don't know the exact number. There's probably about 170, 180 total titles on there.
Okay.
Now, but I think that they're just going to stick with that 100 plus games marketing, because that's a big number when you're talking about $9 a month.
Yeah, but
sell in.
If they could, marketing should be saying 150 plus, because then it's even better a deal, right?
Yeah, I think that they're not quite at the point where they know exact. Like, I don't know the exact number. It might not be close enough to 200 for them to say 150.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So it is a rotating list then.
It is some stuff stays on there for quite a while. I believe all the first party stuff will obviously stay up there for a while, because that was one of their big things. It's like first party titles are, day and date. But yeah, Fallout 4 had been on there for a little bit. And then
to see Bethesda games now on there, to see Square Enix games are coming on now. And these are newer games, like you said, 3 months old.
Yeah.
Right? And they're on Game Pass already. That's, Game Pass is more and more becoming quite the lucrative deal.
It is a good, it is a good deal. There is stuff that leaves. Absolutely, there is stuff that leaves, and if you're, but they give you a month's warning. So if it's the game you're playing through,
finish it.
It gives you time to finish it if you really want to finish it, or purchase the game if you want to keep that as a title you want to own.
Sure.
There's also a lot of stuff that drops and releases as, hey, brand new release in the vault.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Not the vault, whatever they call it, in the Game Pass.
In the Game Pass. Now, which kind of leads into our next and last thing we'll talk about. The discless Xbox One, which has been rumored for a while, is apparently coming out in May of this year.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it would not be that difficult a thing to do. I mean, take the Xbox you're making now and just
take the drive out. You take the disc drive out.
Just take that out too. That would probably be cheaper than just covering that up with tape.
Right.
Even better. Take that out. Right.
Take it out. Cover up the hole with tape.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two things about this. One, obviously they want to test the market to see if, this is the perfect device to get this device and subscribe to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right? Buy all your games digitally because there's no disc in it. One, of course, now you can't play Blu-rays. So it's literally just a console box. It probably doesn't even need to be as big as it's going to be. Because it's just going to be, I'm assuming, just a hard drive, probably a 1 terabyte hard drive inside, right?
Yeah.
But second, it feels like, is this really the time to release this? Far into the console cycle? Why isn't this the next gen console and then come out with a disc version and a discless version and see which one sells better?
Well, what they can do is they do this now and they deal with the uproar and everything like that. They don't have to worry about coming out with this and making two if they don't want to make two. If they only want to, for the next Xbox, if they only want to make one, they don't need to worry about something where they have an idea, they put it out there, and then Sony makes fun of them at their press conference, like, oh, we've always have a disc tray. You'll never be without a disc tray for our stuff. And how they did last time when Microsoft got roasted after their big sort of...
It feels like the wrong time to release this. The market is already saturated. It's not like Xbox Ones are flying out of the stores, right?
No, but you create this, you put it...
But this is not the time for a test bed. Because who's going to buy this?
It's the perfect time because, it's the perfect time to do this because it gives them a couple of months of data. And it's not necessarily sales data that they're looking for. What they're looking for is influencer data, people bashing it, articles, comments and stuff like that about it is what they're looking for. People like us talking about it and giving our opinions, and they're going to take all of that. And then when they hit E3 and they have some other announcements and stuff like that, they have a direction that they can go in.
I don't know. It just seems like a weird time because I don't know. Are there really that many new customers to Xbox that are going to run out and buy that? Who's going to run out and buy a discless Xbox now?
Yeah. In
this time when we know that the next gen console is like a year to maybe 2 years away. That's all I'm saying. It just seems like a weird time.
We've seen some recent talk about Game Pass coming to other devices.
To the Switch. Which is Switch. Like, hello.
And again, that's, I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if there's any truth to that at all whatsoever. But you are a Nintendo gamer, Sean. Let's give you a scenario. You're a Nintendo gamer. You've only got the Switch at home, right? E3 comes. They make this amazing announcement that they are now going to be partnering up Game Pass on the Switch. And you're like, well, maybe I want to get an Xbox as well. Now there's a device that you can
But I already have one.
No, you've got like the thing. You've got a thingy. You've got a, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's maybe the right time for them to make the announcement to bring this out there to sort of see where it is. It also means that they can cut down on the amount of other ones that they do, which means they don't have to manufacture as many disc drives, which means it's cutting their costs even further on this.
It's also only an Xbox One S. It's not an X. It's an Xbox One S.
Yes.
That's coming out without a disc.
Does it have a price point?
No. The speculation is it'll be about $100 cheaper.
Yeah, that's going to be the big. That's going to be the big thing too. Is if they can get in there at a certain price point, then
So we need to end the show.
Need to.
Yeah. One quick thing that I thought was fantastic is apparently, like, this is along the same lines you just mentioned, Game Pass coming to Switch, but PS4 Remote Play is now available on iOS.
Yes, I saw that. It looks really cool, but now you need to get some compatible controllers to connect to your phone.
But you've got buttons all across the whole side of the screen with every button for a PS4. Yeah. You can play on an iPad your PS4 games. It seems weird, but okay, I guess.
It looks neat. I would really want to be able to connect like a PS4 controller to that.
Yeah,
to your
that would
phone.
be cool. That would be cool.
Because other than that, like, you know, because I think I saw somebody playing The Witcher on there
on iOS. That's just
on iOS, and like,
cool.
you know, you're like jamming your hands all over the screen. You can't see what's going on.
Exactly.
But
right.
Really cool that that's on mobile.
That is cool. I'm curious enough to try it, so I'll pull up my old iOS iPad and see if I can download it and try it. But yeah, that's cool. I'd love to see them do even that. Like, talk to Nintendo as well and say, hey, let's do PS4 Remote Play on Nintendo. I don't know.
Yeah, they were all at that same thing at the beginning of E3.
Exactly. I mean,
Sean
Sony was there.
Yeah.
You know, who else? There was Sean Sony. There was
Reggie Nintendo.
Reggie Nintendo was there.
Yeah.
And why can't I think of the Xbox dude's name? What's his name? No,
because now you keep saying it, I can't remember either.
It's Xbox P3 is his Twitter handle. I can't think of his name. Sorry. Anyway, you need to end the show. Come on, Mr. Tico Button Presser.
All right. No, I'm trying. You keep talking. Follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. And you can like, subscribe, and comment, you know, on there and places, on buttons, everywhere. There's buttons all over the place for doing that. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place.
Nah.
Why wouldn't they want to do that? Listen, once or twice a year.
Have you ever said something on Twitter?
Yeah.
Have you, though?
I've posted stuff.
You reply to people, but have you actually said something on Twitter other than retweets?
I have said stuff on Twitter before. Not a lot. I am not a huge tweeter.
You're not a Twitter. You are a twit, but you're not a tweeter.
Yeah, I mean, I've said some things, but, like, listen, if you guys all follow me, then I'll get better.
All right. I, of course, can be followed everywhere as Ziantane, and that is Xiantayne. In fact, you can even follow me in my car, which is also Ziantane. Which I still have to tell you, every time I see my plate, I'm like, yes.
People just started following you at random. I think you'd get creeped out.
Yeah, probably. Check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/OMGNexus if you don't already. And send us your 7 degrees of translation. We'd love to hear some of your titles. You know, what Holy Spirit and Holy in a Row titles are you going to give us? Or Hiding in the Mud. So that's it for episode number 320. We'll be back next week. Only 3 weeks left until PAX. I'm excited. Brian, get ready. We're coming. We'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.